Hi, this is Praveen. So now let us continue our discussion on climatology. In my previous classes on climatology, we have already covered the topics like climate, weather, the importance of climate and weather, and the factors which affect the climate and weather. And also, we have already discussed about the atmosphere, its structure and its composition, the insolation and heat budget. So now let us come to the next one, which is pressure belts, weather circulations, and few four forces which affect the planetary winds. And finally, we are going to discuss about planetary winds itself. So first, let us understand what actually is air pressure. Air pressure is the pressure that is exerted by air on all the sides of the earth. So one more thing to remember when we are going to discuss about pressure belts and weather circulations is pressure is inversely proportional to temperature. So if you know that, then you can understand the pressure belts. So firstly, let us understand pressure belts and weather circulations one by one. So now let us see what happens about the pressure belts and weather circulations one by one. So firstly, let us start discussing about pressure belts. Firstly, we call it as pressure belts because they were acting like a belt all around the earth. So now let us see what happens first at the equator. So this line, approximately 5 degrees north to 5 degrees south, is nearly the zone of equator, and sunrays always directly and vertically fall on the equator, and due to that reason there is more heat and more energy, and the air particles here, they have the energy to overcome the gravitational force of the earth and rise up. So the winds in this way, they rise up. So when they rise up, then due to the low temperature in atmospheric layers, then they come again backwards to the earth in this way. So they widespread over all the directions and come back and fall on the earth itself. So in this way they would fall. So here as well. So here already there were few particles of air and some more particles were added. And here as well there were already few particles and some more particles are added. So in these regions we find a high pressure belt. And here there were now less particles, which results in the formation of a low pressure belt. And as we all know, winds they tend to move from the high pressure belt to the low pressure belt. So they move in this direction. So they move like this, and from the southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere as well, we find like this. So here we could find a circulation, and these kinds of circulations is nothing but the weather circulations which happen in the atmosphere of the earth. So now let us name these three pressure belts. So those pressure belts are, first one is this one, it is nothing but the subtropical high pressure belt, because as you can see here there were already few particles and some more particles are added, due to which it results in the formation of the high pressure belt. And here as well we find the subtropical high pressure belt. And then since there are low particles here, it leads to the formation of equatorial low pressure belt. So three pressure belts, the subtropical high pressure belt, the equatorial low pressure belt and the subtropical high pressure belt, they form the weather circulations. So these weather circulations between these three pressure belts is called as Hartley cell. So this cell is Hartley cell, and this cell is also the Hartley cell. So now let us look what happens at the polar regions. So at the poles, the temperature is low. So it leads to the formation of a high pressure belt. And due to that reason, we have the formation of the polar high pressure belt. So here we find the polar high pressure belt. And in this region, we find high temperature when compared to the polar regions. So it leads to the formation of the low pressure belt. So it is a low pressure belt. So the winds, they tend to move from here and to here. When the winds move like that, already here is high temperature when compared to polar regions. So the air, it tends to rise up. So when it rises up, here also the upper atmospheric layers, they have lower temperatures. So they come and fall towards the earth back again in this direction. So these are the direction of these winds. So here as well we could find few cells which were forming. But before going to these cells, now let us draw the same image which was happening in southern hemisphere. So in the southern hemisphere as well, we find the polar high pressure belt here and the subpolar low pressure belt here. So the air here rises up, and the winds from the subtropical high pressure belt and the polar high pressure belt, they tend to come towards this subpolar low pressure belt because winds move from a high pressure belt to the low pressure belt. So when it rises up, due to the atmospheric low temperatures, it tends to fall back towards the earth in this direction on both the sides. So here also we find the same kind of circulations. So here also we find the same kind of circulations in this pattern. So this is what happens in the weather circulations. So now let us look at the cells and the pressure belts which we have discussed now. So firstly, the cell which was formed between subtropical high pressure belt and this low pressure belt, which is called as the subpolar low pressure belt. Subpolar low pressure belt is called as the Ferrel cell. So it is Ferrel cell. So this Ferrel cell is named after Ferrel, who was a famous mathematician. And then here between the polar high pressure belt, which is this one, polar high pressure belt, and the subpolar low pressure belt, we have the formation of the polar cell, because in this region we find the polar regions. So we find the polar cell here. So now let us look at the pressure belt here, pressure belts in this region. So it is also subpolar low pressure belt and the polar high pressure belt. So this is about the pressure belts and weather circulations. So these weather circulations, they make sure that the temperature of earth is similar at all the places. But due to few other factors, we have the temperatures of few places high and low. So this is about pressure belts and weather circulations. So next let's come to these four important forces which affect the planetary winds. The first one is Coriolis force. So Coriolis force is named after a French mathematician who was called as Coriolis. In the year 1786, he has said about the Coriolis force. So now let us try to understand what is this Coriolis force. Coriolis force is nothing but the deflection of winds is nothing but the Coriolis force. And this Coriolis force is caused because of rotational movement of the earth. As we all know, earth has two important movements of the earth as rotation and revolution. So due to the rotational movement of the earth, we have the deflection of winds. And this is what this Coriolis force is. So the value of Coriolis force at a particular latitude is equals to the sine theta of the angle of latitude multiplied with alpha. So we can understand that the Coriolis force is minimum at equator and it is maximum at the poles. And next is Ferrel's law. So this Ferrel's law is a bit extension of Coriolis force. It says that the winds deflect towards their right in northern hemisphere and towards their left in the southern hemisphere. So Coriolis force is about the deflection of winds, and the Ferrel's law says the deflection of the direction of winds. And the next is geostrophic force. This geostrophic force is nothing but the relation between Coriolis force and frictional force. So Coriolis force is inversely proportional to the frictional force. This is what this geostrophic force says. And next we have the pressure gradient force. So in this pressure gradient force, we have the atmospheric pressure which was exerting on the earth, and in few places we find the isobars. So these isobars, as we all know, is the points joining the places with same pressure. So if the isobars are nearer to each other, then the pressure gradient force should be high at that region. So if the isobars are far and apart from each other, then pressure gradient force is low. So these are the four laws and forces which influence the planetary winds. So now let us see about the planetary winds itself. But before going to planetary winds, what are winds? Wind is nothing but the horizontal movement of air. So the horizontal movement of air is called as winds. So what about the vertical or nearly vertical movement of air? It is called as the air currents. So we have winds as the horizontal movement and the air currents as vertical or nearly vertical movement of air. So these are winds and air currents, and winds can be further classified under three as the planetary winds, the seasonal winds and the local winds. So now firstly let us look what is about planetary winds. Planetary winds are nothing but the winds which blow all around the earth throughout the year. So this is what these planetary winds are. So now let us understand about planetary winds by using the concept of Coriolis force. So first of all, as we all know, winds blow from the high pressure zone to the low pressure zones. So in this region as well, we have already seen what are these high pressure belts and the low pressure belts on the earth. So by using this, let us discuss about planetary winds. So firstly, let us look what are the planetary winds which are near the equatorial low pressure belt. As we all know, this equatorial low pressure belt has its nearer high pressure belts as the subtropical high pressure belts. So the winds move from subtropical high pressure belt towards the equatorial low pressure belt in both northern hemisphere and also in southern hemisphere. So the actual path is like this. So the winds have to actually move in this direction, but due to the Coriolis force and Ferrel's law, as I have told you earlier, the winds deflect towards their right in northern hemisphere. So above equatorial low pressure belt, we have northern hemisphere. So they deflect towards their right. So that means they deflect towards their right in this direction. So they blow in this way. And then in the southern hemisphere, they deflect towards their left. So they move in this direction. So they move like this. And the place of convergence of these winds is called as the ITCZ. This ITCZ is nothing but the intertropical convergence zone. That is the place where the sun rays directly fall and the trade winds converge. And next, these two types of winds are nothing but the trade winds. So they are trade winds. So in below as well, trade winds. But they can be further classified under two based on their direction of origin. So the trade winds in northern hemisphere, they were originated in the northeastern side. That means they were called as the northeast trade winds. So in the southern hemisphere, they originate at the southeastern direction. So they were called as the southeast trade winds. So these are the trade winds. So next, let us see what happens between subtropical high pressure belt and the subpolar low pressure belt. So in this region, the winds should move in this direction and in the northern hemisphere as well in this direction. So now comes the Ferrel's law and Coriolis force. Now let us see how that works here. So here the winds deflect towards their left. That means in southern hemisphere they deflect in this direction. So the winds move in this direction. But due to the more angle of latitude, we have their inclination furthermore. That is like this. So they move in this direction. Since they were moving towards the western direction, they were called as the westerlies. In the northern hemisphere as well, we find the winds that are blowing in this direction. So the winds blow like this, and here itself we find the deflection of winds in this direction. So they were called as the westerlies. So these westerlies are also named after their direction of origin, that is south and north. So in this region, they originate in the north of southern hemisphere. So they were called as the northwesterlies. And in the northern hemisphere, they originate at the south of the northern hemisphere in this region, as you can observe. So they were called as the southwesterlies. So these westerlies are more powerful at the southern hemisphere, because in this region we find oceanic water bodies. That means the region where these northwesterlies blow is even. So that means we have the more and high movement of the northwesterlies. But if it is in the case of southwesterlies, we have continents and landmass which is found in this region. So it is very difficult for the southwesterlies to blow in all the ways. So northwesterlies are found between 30 degrees south latitude and 60 degrees south latitude. And the southwesterlies are found between the 30 degrees north latitude and 60 degrees north latitude. So these northwesterlies were more powerful. So when the European traders and navigators, they wanted to trade with the country Australia, they have to influence the northwesterly winds. And when they were influencing, they have named few latitudes. So 40 degrees south latitude, they have named as the roaring 40s. 50 degrees south latitude, they have named them as furious 50s. And the 60 degrees south latitude, they have named them as shrieking 50s. So 60 degrees south latitude, they have named as the shrieking 60s. So these are the types of winds which are a part of northwesterlies. So it is about westerlies. So now let's come to the easterlies. So easterlies are found between the polar high pressure belts and the subpolar low pressure belts in both northern hemisphere and also in southern hemisphere. So the winds actually move in this direction like this in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and due to Coriolis force and Ferrel's law they deflect. Now let us see how do they deflect. So here they deflect in this direction towards their right like this, and due to more Coriolis force due to the increase in latitude's angle they would deflect furthermore. So they would deflect furthermore, and due to that reason they were called as the easterlies. So they were called as easterlies. So in southern hemisphere as well, they blow towards their left like this. And due to more Coriolis force, they in turn turn their direction like this. So they were called as easterlies. So these easterlies which are present here and here, both these are called as polar easterlies because they were found at the polar regions. So these are the planetary winds, and we will discuss about the monsoons, the origin of monsoons and other seasonal winds in my coming class. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel Explore with Praveen. Thank you.